People who bought a house. What is the weirdest thing you have found left by the previous owner? It's not really weird, but I think it's kind of a nice story. One of the kids' rooms has a shelf going all around the top edge. And when my kid was putting stuff up there, they found a letter from the previous kid. The letter welcomed them to the room, etc., and asked them to take special care of a rose bush in the front yard that was their special rose bush. My kid thought it was really cool to have that connection with the previous kid. A glass bowl. It was kind of pretty, with horizontal blue stripes. We kept fruit in it. We thought about dropping it off at the local charity shop, but never got around to it. Then one day I was at an antique fair and I saw for sale glass bowls that looked almost identical to ours. I went home to get my bowl and brought it to be assessed. Turns out it was a vintage Aurifer's crystal bowl. The assessor valued it at around $800. We no longer keep fruit in it. My ex-wife found, behind a drawer in a built-in cupboard, a lovely lockbox contains several nice pocket watches and family heirlooms. The great part was that, with a little sleuthing, we found the son of the man who originally built that house and reunited these items to the family. It was a wonderful experience from start to finish. Before I met her, my wife got a call from someone she worked with saying they'd just bought an old house and in the city, and in it was a steamer trunk with her family name, not a common one, carved into the woodwork on one end. As it turns out, it was the trunk that her great-grandfather used when he came over from Germany. And it made the trip to my wife's hometown when he met her great-grandmother on a visit, and subsequently moved to her city to marry her. We now have it, and it's full of family portraits and albums. My parents' house. A previous owner fancied himself a DIY guy, we think. First week we're in the house, we call an electrician to get economy 7 installed. He shuts off all the breakers, questions why the house hasn't burned down, and wonders how the hell the house passed inspection. So, 2 weeks into our new house they have to get the whole place rewired for a small fortune. Over the last 40 years it seems every time they renovate something new and interesting thing shows up. Recently the kitchen sink kept clogging. After a brief search we found the drain was routed under the kitchen floor and concreted over. It had finally cracked under the weight and was leaking into the foundations. A Diary of an American Soldier in World War II. South Pacific Theater. Found it above a door when remodeling 20+ years ago. My wife and I tried everything we could think of to find a descendant, but to no avail. Not my house, but the school my friend worked at. A pipe had leaked and ruined a wall in the building. One of the oldest schools in the city. It was a beautiful property. Anyways, the pipe leaked, so they pulled down the ruined wall and behind the wall found a door. A fully furnished apartment was there. Had a coal-burning stove to heat it. Early 1900s appliances and decor. It was for the caretaker of the school. That they wired a room by connecting the outlet with an extension cord inside the wall. My house was a foreclosure. The previous owners let their kids dump a bunch of paint in the basement and paint on the basement walls. My favorite was some crudely painted boobs with the words, "Herp Dick," painted next to it. I've left it up for the entire 11 years I've been here. You don't mess with art. Not weird, but behind the hot water tank was a handwritten "I love you" from the husband to wife. Smiley face. The Ace Rage my wife and I moved to 3 years ago had a bucket full of wrapped dinosaur bones. Took them to our local museum where they confirmed they are roughly 68 million years old. Hadrosaur. Pretty cool. $1,200 in cash above the door on the inside the closet. I found it while painting. Not me. My friend was cleaning out his garage and found a stack of vintage porn mags high up on a shelf. Like 70s style. Raunchy stuff. He brought them to a party and just tossed them casually on the table. 4-inch screws used to secure everything. It's as though they bought a bucket of them and just had to use them everywhere. Big or small projects. Everything was screwed together with 4-inch screws. Found a manuscript about an uncle who takes his young niece in after her parents die. Then they fall in love. It was so badly written and disturbing. We also found a giant dildo. A photo of an all-man throuple glamour shot style and a love letter written on college letterhead to a 13-year-old girl. All in the same attic. East Nashville. Not mine. And it was a rental. But when some of my high school friends went off to college in the early 90s, they rented a house. And whoever lived there before hid weed all over the place. Probably about an ounce in total, but it was everywhere. Pull up the corner of the carpet? Weed. On top of the refrigerator? Weed. Back of the shelves in the hall closet? Weed. Either they were the most forgetful stoners ever, or they did it as a surprise for the new residents. Some 1937 children's gas masks in boxes, including one with my name written on it! Exclamation mark. We bought the house from the CEO of the company which we franchise from. It was her childhood home where her mother lived till the day she died. In true rich person fashion, they didn't care to clean out the house before selling it. Just told us we can do whatever we want with the old lady stuff that was there. We found a hidden box of spicy letters. From the old lady to her affair partner spanning many years. That was fun to give to the CEO. The previous owners had cut the main beam holding up the second floor in order to run a heating duct. What's this big block of wood? No idea. Hand me the reciprocating saw. Surprise. The walls were insulated with black paper and newspapers from 1922. And included an article on the church down the road. Was it the priest's job to be entertaining and put bums in seats? Or was it people's moral duty to show up even if the sermon was boring? The church turned into a daycare, and was then torn down to make way for townhouses. So I guess we know how that one turned out. Beta video cassette of previous owners, sex tape. The couple was very old. It still makes me shiver 20 years later.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.